Today is May the 31st of 21, and I'm wanting to show you, I'm actually putting in some trades based on what Sheldon, the sniper, talked about this morning on his call. This is not financial advice from him or me. I'm just trying to show you how to make these and enter these trades in 3Commas. 3Commas is a great place. I will leave a link in the description below. It's an affiliate link if you do want to get an account there. Everyone can use this account, even in the US. Some of the platforms they were talking about, I think, only works with Binance at this point, and US investors can't use Binance. But anyway, so I wanted to show you on 3Commas how to make this trade. Now, one of the first things you'll have to do, and I'll also, so in 3Commas, over on the left here is a smart trade, and what we're going to do is we're connect the exchange that we're wanting to, and then the pair. Now I'm actually going to do Kusama first because it's something I don't have and I'm wanting to add to my position. This is how much I have in US dollars, and then you can, like I said, connect to whatever exchange you have. Kusama and Dot mainly are on Kraken and Bittrex, I believe, or maybe KuCoin too, I'm not sure. But for US investors, that's kind of where we have to trade within. So, but what I'm going to do is since I don't own it, I'm going to go in and I'm going to enter a smart trade. Now I've written down the numbers that Sheldon had gave as far as the buy, sell, and stop loss, and I'll put that below as well, just so you have those numbers for quick reference. But so what I'm going to do is, like I said, I got about $2,000 in the account, and I'm actually, this is saying what percent of this 2,000 I want to use, and it's not too much money, so I'm just going to do 100% of it. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come up and say, all right, what is the price I want to buy it at? And Sheldon had talked about the buy price being, let's see here, the buy price being between 305 and 320. Well, it's trading at that now. So I could do a market, but if it's a very large order, for certain you want to do a limit order, I'm just going to leave it at a limit order, and I'll put the ask price in there to make sure it gets filled. So here we are, that at 100% of this. Then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put set take profit. Now, what this will do is allow me to go ahead and program in advance the sale price of what, where I want to, take profit off, or harvest, as they would call it. So on his information he gave, as he said, the sale price between 524 and 590. So I can come up here and say, 524, 120. I try not to use exact numbers because a lot of times people just use exact numbers, so it kind of helps a little bit not to have the exact number, even round number. So that's a 64% from this price I'm buying it at here. But I can also do a split take profit. That way I'm not selling all of it at this price, but let's just say I want to sell half of it at that price, and so I can put in 50%. And then this has to add up to 100. So his next level, or that range, was 590. So I can put in here 590, something like that. That's 80%. Now let's say I don't want to sell all of it. I just want to sell 75%. So I'll put 25% here. And I'm going to add take profit. Now this has to equal to 100. So on this other, I could put a very high number, as 1,500 or something like that. And then that way it equals to my 100%. So we can just create the trade there. I have not been using stop losses, but I am becoming a believer in stop losses. And so I'm actually going to add a stop loss here. And the stop loss that he talked about is 285. So I'm going to take here and put 285, and that's about a 10% loss. Now I can do a stop loss timeout, just meaning if it takes a a flash dip and I don't want it to trigger yet, I can say, all right, well, this is how many minutes I want to make sure it stays down below this price before it would actually execute the stop loss. So this just kind of helps with some kind of, a flash crash situation that bounces right back up. So 300 seconds, I think is what it defaults at, but you can do it, more or less than that. So I'll just leave it at what the default is. And so here I am. I can create the trade, and it will give me a synopsis, a recap of what's going on. I'm saying this is the buy price at 318. It'll end up being 6 shares of KSM. Here's my stop loss at 10%. Below, here's the amount, and it's a stop timeout for 300 seconds. So just click confirm, and that has been purchased or is in the process of being purchased. You can look down here in 3Commas, and it will give you the details of it, saying that here's the current price, and here's a price I've placed to buy it. So it should, once it dips down, it'll buy that. And then my stop loss, and my first, and then second, and then my third take profit. So that's what you have for KSM. What I'm going to do is with DOT. Now I actually own DOT, so this is going to be a little bit different way to enter the trade that you will see, as opposed to if you didn't own the the asset. And so saying I got 700 DOT, actually got more than that, some of it's staked. So, but this will only show how much I can trade on it. So if you own the asset already and you're wanting to put in sell prices and add a stop loss, and that's what I'm wanting to do in here, then you're going to do a smart sell. And so you're going to choose what percent of the number of DOT or whatever token it is you have. And so I'm going to do 25%, which comes up to, you can see down here, comes up to about 3,700. And so you put here the bought price, but this price isn't an absolute. I mean, this really is only to help you determine what your profit is when you come over to this set take profit. So if it's not exact, that's okay. But let me just say I put it in at his buy price. So let's just say I did buy it earlier and I didn't put take profit levels in. I just bought it outright. And so here he is that I own it. So he was saying that the buy price would be between 20 and 21. So, it's at 21 now. So let's just say I did buy it at 21 is where I bought it. Now over here, I can say, all right, so then I'm clicking on this take profit, and this is where I'm putting in, this doesn't really do anything over here other than saying how many DOT I'm, wanting to, I'd be willing to sell if it does get to a certain price. Here's the take profit level. Once again, we can split the take profit, and on the numbers that Sheldon gave, it was 35. It's 35. And so then I could say, all right, so this is 35 is based upon if I bought it at 20. So this one will show you what I meant. But let's say I bought it at 25, then it's going to show a different profit level. But that's okay. The main thing is the price that we're willing to sell it at. So I'm going to say, all right, split take profit. I'm going to do, let's say, 50%. Now let me say this. I'm not using all of this I have. I'm using 25%. So I'm okay with 100% of this getting sold because it's only using, the percent that I set up over here. And so the first take profit level was 35, or the range of the take profit was 35 and then 38. So it's pretty close to each other, but 10%. So then I'm going to say add take profit, and then here 38 is the second take profit. I'm going to go ahead and do the other 50%, and then that will give me the trade to be able to exit when it hits this price. Now, like I said before, I have not been using stop losses, but I am going to add one. Now, let's just say you don't want to set in a take profit. You could still come in here and do the same thing and just add a stop loss to it. So you don't have to set in a take profit. You can take that and turn it off, and there not be a take profit. Let's just say you just want to add the stop loss. So you'll come into the stop loss section, and the stop loss number that he gave was 1880. So we'll put in 1880, which is a 27% drop, but that's, from this price that over here, if you bought it at, so let's say you did buy it at 21, then here's that 7, 8, 10% that he was talking about earlier, as far as how much would be lost. But if it drops, 50%, 40%, then obviously that's a great deal. So then also you can put in the stop loss timeout. And so I'm going to go ahead and enter this trade because this is what I'm looking at wanting to do. I may come back and add more to this later, but I'm going to go ahead and create the trade for that. And once again, it gives me a recap. I'm looking at 75, this bought price. I actually bought it lower. So anyway, it doesn't matter as much. But then that's how much dollars and, the stop loss where it's at. And there's the take profit levels. So I will take and confirm that. But I'm not going to make this trade. I did want to show you this other, what this other smart cover means. And what this smart cover means is let's say that we were at a place where we thought DOT was going to go lower, like it had run up, and we think now it may have a significant pullback. And so what we would do is we could go in and do a smart cover. However, I'm not doing that at this point because I think it's at a buy place as opposed to a sell. And so, but I would come in here and say, once again, what percent of the, what I own I'm willing to do or to work with. And so I can say I want to sell it at a limit order. And so basically what this is doing is it's selling it now and then buying it back when it goes lower. So this would be the price, maybe the market price or limit price. If I think it's going lower, then I want to get out of it as soon as I can, right? Because if it's going lower. So I would put in a limit or market close to this price. Then I'm going to do a set take profit. And then what this will do is allow me to buy it back at a lower price. So let's say I do think it's going to break below the 1880 level, although I don't. But then I would say, okay, maybe if it was at $15, it would be a 30% gain that I would have because it's buying it at 30% lower than where I'm selling it. And so once again, that can be split as well. And then you can set a stop loss on it. Now what this stop loss would mean is since we're selling it and we're hoping it goes down, this stop loss is going to be just a little bit above where we're selling it. So that way if we miss, what we're thinking is going to happen and it just keeps going up, then that stop loss would buy it a little bit above where we put the sell order in. Once again, not making this trade, but I did want to show you this smart cover.